We are going to get started by bringing up staff member to talk about their student, and we're going to start with the awesome Miss Vogue, who is going to talk about Thomas Watson. Come on down.
Thank you very much. This is my first True Wildcat as a staff member, so I'm super excited to be here and nominate Thomas. I was just telling his mom that everyone calls him Tommy, and I had him first semester, always called him Thomas, and then this semester I'm like, do you want me to try calling you Tommy? And it just didn't stick. He's definitely a Thomas to me. So I have had the pleasure of having Thomas in my class, not only this semester, but last semester. And for me, the biggest reason why I nominated Thomas for this award is the growth that I've seen. From first semester to being, the jittery sophomore, kind of always trying to talk to everybody, which was great. He's very social, but really the focus this semester that I've seen in the leadership roles that he has taken on in our gourmet foods class is amazing to see. You can see the passion for cooking when he's whipping up that hollandaise sauce, which he has made the best hollandaise sauce that I have seen in a culinary class. So that was really impressive, and he did it so quickly. So just the leadership roles that Thomas has taken on, and just the willingness to fully dive into everything that we're doing in class. I am so proud of you, Thomas. I really am looking forward to the rest of the semester and seeing where you take this passion for culinary arts. Thank you very much.
Make some mean hollandaise sauce. You're going to have to swing by the main office and let me know the next time you're cooking. I'll come by and inspect what we got going on there. Awesome. All right. Moving right along, we are going to bring up the awesome Ms. Powell, who is going to talk about Christopher Samaras.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Powell, or Shara Powell, and I teach world literature, so 10th graders. And I nominated Christopher. I told him to be prepared. I wouldn't keep him up here and embarrass him for too long. I nominated Christopher for his consistency and dedication. I have him fourth period, and by fourth period, everybody's just a little bit crabby. A little bit hungry or a little bit tired because they just ate lunch. And he is consistently polite. He is consistently hardworking. He is consistently dedicated. He'll ask questions when he gets stuck versus asking asking friends, hey, what do you think she wants with this assignment? I have instructed everyone that I'm the one that made the assignment. You might want to ask me. And so he takes that to heart all the time. And one thing that I never know, everybody, I look out in the sea of students and they all look like they're best friends. But underneath that, there could be, some beef that's been going on since second grade, and I have no idea about it. So I always do a survey and say, is there anybody, do you have any seating preferences? Somebody you can't sit by or whatever. I'm not going to get into it. I just want to make you comfortable. And also any front, back seating preferences. And Christopher is the only person, I believe, out of 4 classes that said, it might be great to sit near the front. I was like, that's it. Now you're always at the front, buddy. Every single seating chart, you are at the front because I want to see one nice, smiling, dedicated face at all times, especially fourth period. So I appreciate all that he does, and I know that he didn't know, maybe until today, all of the little ways that he makes the class more pleasant for everybody, even me. So for that, I thank him.
That's awesome, Christopher. If we want to move your table up here, we could put you right up. Got room right over here. This is good. All right. Keeping it rolling here, we have the amazing Mr. Dawson, who is going to talk about Grace Booth.
All right, so I nominated Grace. She's just a great kid. She's in my honors chemistry class, and we were talking a little bit at the table about, her mom was talking about her, and she's a very responsible student. She gets her work done. She's the kind of person that you do not have to get after to get things done, which all of that is true of so many kids that I deal with on a daily basis. But I feel like, to me, when I'm thinking about Grace, a couple of things come to mind. One, she's very creative, and she's willing to share her ideas. There are lots of students that I have who are creative and are afraid to share. Like, I think of this thing, but I don't want to say it out loud, right? It's hard in a classroom of lots of peers, expectations. Putting your ideas out there in front of everybody can be tricky. I do some journaling to start class in my honors chemistry class 2 or 3 times a week. And I'm always begging for people to share interesting things that they thought of. And Grace is always willing to share. Just, this is the thing I thought of, and put it out there. Oftentimes getting the conversation started, right? Like paving the way for other kids to maybe feel like, well, if she can share, then I can share. I can put something out there into the world and see what it is and if other people like it. So I really appreciate her creativity and her willingness to share. The other thing that I'm always going to remember about Grace, she's super engaged and inquisitive in class. When we are doing stuff, whether it's labs or notes or discussion, she's always kind of locked in and thinking about what is going on and listening and coming up with questions. She asks me probably the most questions of any of my students this year. And she's got this little thing that she does. When she asks me a question, she'll get my attention, come over, whatever, ask me the question, and as soon as she gets done asking the question, she kind of tilts her head, kind of looks up to the left and listens very intently to whatever I'm going to say. It's kind of like, I don't even know if she does it. It could be just an autonomic response. She's like, so what do you do about this one thing? And she kind of tunes in, I take that to mean, wow, she is just closing out the rest of the world, locking in to whatever it is that I'm going to say, because she really wants to know. And I love that inquisitiveness, that it's not just, how do we get the answer to this question and then get out of here, because I don't want you by me. I really want to know. So I don't know if you know that you do that, but that's one of my favorite things. Every time you do it, I just get a little smile on my face. I think that's so fun. So thank you for everything you do. Thank you for being creative and for sharing and for being so inquisitive. I love it.
Well, you talked about Grace being inquisitive, but now you've also increased her awareness of an important little skill that she has there, so that's great. All right, we're going to keep it going, and we are going to bring up the incredible Miss Brandt to talk about Reese Lynch.
Good morning. This is Reese, and Reese is a sophomore in my AP Psychology class. And AP Psychology is sort of a mix, generally speaking, of seniors and sophomores, and so sometimes that can make sophomores kind of quiet because they're maybe a little bit intimidated by those seniors. But the best way that I can describe Reese in psychology is this sort of quiet leadership that she has. So she can work with anyone, and she has over the course of the year, but she'll raise her hand and just give this amazing example. And you're like, yes, exactly that. She also will come in before or stick around for a couple minutes after class and talk about psychology in her life. And that's what I call doing psychology, right? It doesn't live only in the 4 walls of our psychology classroom and for 45 minutes a day. And then just personally, my favorite examples by far, you already know what I'm going to say, are about Ollie, her dog, because many of my examples in class are about my dog, Fozzie Bear. And so now I ask about Ollie. We shared pictures for our dogs dressed up for Halloween, which I very much enjoyed. It's completely ridiculous, but we appreciate it. So that's super, super fun. Reese has come to Psychology Club, a couple of meetings, so I hope to see her in the future at those meetings. And she also kind of has this outlet for her creative side. She builds set for the plays, and I think anybody who's built sets for the plays has this incredibly hard work ethic. There's not a lot of fame and glory in that, but boy is it important that everything works exactly as it should. We've seen bits of that in class. Gestalt principles are these principles for sort of grouping, and she made this beautiful, beautiful Gestalt principles of her name that was just so artistic, and it was just a small little assignment in class, so I really, really appreciate that. Recently, we did an assignment on motivation, and we're talking about the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, and her dad was just describing Reese's intrinsic motivation. She is in class for the love of learning and for the love of doing psychology, and yeah, the grade is important, but that's not what's driving Reese. So in a couple of instances, she swung by the office to say, but I'm not really sure about this question. Can you clarify? But it's not all about the grade. It's about learning psychology and doing psychology. But recently, we had an assignment. Some of you might know Daniel Pink. He's a psychologist who does a lot with motivation. And one of the things that we know about motivation is giving people external rewards can suck the joy or the intrinsic motivation out of doing some things. So if you don't like doing something, you should probably get a reward for it. But if you love doing something, just do it for the joy of doing it. Well, in that assignment, I asked students what would they like to do in the future, and Reese wants to be a dermatologist. And in explaining why she would like to be a dermatologist, she said, I want to help people. And that, to me, summarizes who Reese Lynch is. So for being kind and good and this quiet leader, Reese is a true Wildcat.
That is very ethical that you experiment on your dogs, because when I taught psychology, I brought in my kids to experiment on, and I'm still living with the consequences of that. So, all right. We will keep it going, and I've got the awesome Mr. Adams to talk about Ava Birmingham.
So I don't know about you folks, but anytime there's no snow on the ground and it's February, I'm energized. So I'm really excited to be here this morning. I know it's cold, but I'm raring to go today, I'll tell you right now. Here's the thing about what I see happening right now, just as a brief introduction. I see a lot of familiar faces out in the crowd, people that I've had in my class already, so I know Ava's in great company. And this is a little bit more difficult in terms of being a driver education recommendation, because while I make an initial recommendation, there's two other teachers that have to kind of confirm that. So Mr. Stewart and Mr. Wilcox, other two teachers for Ava in the driver education program, they confirmed my recommendation and said, yeah, Ava's a terrific choice. This is a great person to have, as a true Wildcat, because they really embody all these qualities. And the thing about it is I'm sitting at home last night, I'm talking to my family, particularly my 12-year-old daughter, who's very educationally aware and very inquisitive. Oh, you get to recommend a true Wildcat to Mom or Dad? I'm like, yeah, I do. I get, this is going to be exciting. It's Ava Birmingham. And Ava, just like we mentioned some of these things before, Ava sits pole position. She's row 2, seat 1, right in front of me. Every single day she's got to come in and she's going to stare right at me and I'm going to talk, and she's right in front of everything. And, we only meet in the classroom phase every other day. So the idea of being a true Wildcat and being representative of the driver education program, you have to make an impact relatively quickly. And Ava comes in every day and she's got a good attitude and she's smiling and she's got a good sense of humor, and it's the kind of thing that again energizes a teacher, to be more productive and more, engaged with their class. And then that again spreads with the other students, and they become more engaged. and they become more energetic, and things start to happen in your class, and learning starts to take place, and this is what makes the experience really outstanding. And it's because of students like Ava, it's because of Ava in particular, that these things happen, and learning occurs, and people have a good time, and they have a positive experience. Because sometimes, you know what, it's hard. We come here, and maybe it is snowing and freezing outside, and who really wants to get out of bed and come to school? That's tough. And then all of a sudden, you got to sit right in front of Mr. Adams, and he's talking about driver education, and the next thing you know, we're only 2 minutes into class, and this is going to be 43 minutes more. But that's okay, because she has that attitude, and it's like I was telling my daughter last time, like, listen, if you could be like one of my students, Ava Birmingham is who I'd want you to be like. Do you understand? I would like her to come and see and just shadow Ava for a day and see how she behaves and see how she interacts and see what she does in class. She's got a terrific personality, and she's always willing to learn, and she's funny. She's got a great sense. You know, we do these icebreaker projects at the beginning of the semester, and you interview each other. You know, one student interviews another. Her favorite joke: where do snowmen keep their money? In snowbanks, of course. Nowhere else to keep it, right? So a terrific sense of humor, and a great person to be around when it comes to, you know, learning and engaging and working with other people and motivating other people. And like I say, I look around here and I see the faces in the crowd, and you're with great company. But I do want to leave you with this much. It's a little something that I think fits the situation. A little bit of humor, because you know what? We need a little bit of humor in our lives, and, you know, kind of speaks to Ava and her situation. And I'm just going to follow up or finish up with this here. It's not really mine. It's from a friend of mine, a former judge years ago. So I just want to end here. It's easy to grin when your grades come in and you have your AP testing beat. But the student worthwhile is the student who can learn and smile with Mr. Adams sitting across from him in their seat. So, Ava, you are definitely deserving of this honor. You are truly an embodiment of a true Wildcat, and I thank you for being in my class every single day.
Ava, I'm always looking for some new jokes, so I'm gonna have to check out what you got. All right, we're gonna keep it going with, let's change it over to some math with the great Mr. Taylor talking about Nathan Kalterman.
Good morning. So my name is Mr. Taylor, Mr. Ian Taylor. I just started this year at Libertyville in the math department. And so I was blessed with the opportunity to do this ceremony because as a first-year teacher, I get the chance to meet a lot of new kids for the first time. I'm meeting everyone in the department for the first time. And somebody like Nathan is always a smile, always a source of positive energy for me as I enter the day. Maybe I'm a little nervous for the lesson I'm about to teach. Maybe I'm a little nervous for the situation I'm in. But as really more of a veteran teacher in my career, it's been students like Nathan who make the difference for me on a regular basis. From things as simple as announcements come on, this might be a good time to take out your recycling from your classroom. Nathan's like, got you. He grabs it and goes. And it's like, I don't have to even ask him. But it's those little things that Nathan will do, whether it's, good morning, Mr. Taylor, in the morning, whether it's, hey, I had this cool experience happen to me yesterday, I want to tell you about it, or, doing small things that now I take for granted, like taking out recycling. It's all those things that make him not only a class leader, but I think a leader in the school as a sophomore. And I heard his mom say that he is just thriving at Libertyville, and I feel like he embodies that, and that positive energy, that positive outlook he brings to school every day is something I saw in myself as a student, and so there was no one else on my mind except for Nathan for this award for that reason. I think he really does embody a lot of the different characteristics that we look for in students at Libertyville. On top of that, I mean, he's a part of the lacrosse team. He does band and choir. He's a very well-rounded student. So when we talk about people who have everything and our everything, I see that in Nathan. He was also a leader for our supermarket sweep team, which was a slow start, but we managed to reach almost 100 items in our class, which I know other teachers can't say the same. So that's definitely something I was proud of, being a first-year teacher as well, and I think Nathan was a big part of that push for our class to do something about it and actually make a difference. So, so I really encourage Nathan to continue leading, even if it's uncomfortable, even if he's the only one participating on a day in second period, when I'm sure you guys know second period's a little quiet at times. But I really cherish his contribution to our class, and his positive energy is something I thrive off as well, since I feel like I lead a very positively energized life. He continues that for me. So I'm proud to nominate Nathan this year for the True Wildcat.
Supermarket sweep. You've got leadership there. That was a great service project, so thank you for your leadership in that important work for our school. All right, let's bring up the awesome Miss Ahern to talk about Hayden Johns.
Hi, this is Hayden, and I have the pleasure of working with Hayden this year, and I had the pleasure of working with her last year. So I could not have picked a better student for this award. Hayden embodies everything about our daring mission and everything that you would want in a student in class and in a school community. Hayden is just about the kindest kid I have ever met. You not only are kind, but you care about the students in the class and the teachers, and the relationships that she's building are just great connections and things that I think could last a lifetime. She has come out of her shell recently and has started asking questions and talking more with students, which I love seeing, and I think that's really building relationships and just making people happy. And she brings joy to my class, and in the hallway, and other staff members will say, oh, I saw Hayden today, and what a great relationship and interaction that they had. But another thing that I think is super important, Hayden, besides being kind and caring and things like that, is that you're aware of yourself and your abilities, and you really persevere through anything. Hayden loves school. I don't know about all the rest of you, but like school maybe isn't everyone's favorite thing. I mean, you go, but I don't know that it's everyone's favorite. But Hayden, it's her favorite. She loves school. She loves coming. You can see it in her face. You can see it in her work. You can see it in her effort. Like, Hayden enjoys school, and you're all in on school, and it's great. And I think that really helps my class, because she's a sophomore and all the other kids in my class are juniors, and like, they love school, but Hayden loves it so much that she kind of motivates the other kids in the classroom to do things. We'll be cooking, and Hayden will jump right in and kind of help and push them along. And so I think without that, maybe my class wouldn't be so fun or exciting or engaging. So Hayden really kind of steps up my class and makes it better. And as talking to other staff members before giving Hayden this award, they all said what a positive impact Hayden is making on their lives and their classrooms and our school. And so I think there's so many amazing things about Hayden, but it's just the impact that she's making. And she participates after school in our activities. She also participates in the community activities. So Hayden just does it all, and I just feel proud of her, and I feel proud of what she's accomplished, and I can't wait to really see what you continue to do. So I'm super excited that we have 2 more years to figure this out and do some exciting things, right? Yeah.
I have to say, Hayden makes a mean cupcake too, because I was in class the day we cooked cupcakes. Good stuff. All right, let's bring up the amazing Dr. Brown to talk about Delaney Rybicki.
This is going to be horrible for you, right? Me saying nice things about you. This is Delaney, and I remember very distinctly the first time that I ever met Delaney and her mom. It was January of 2021, and we were trying to do some type of 8th grade or some orientation for 8th graders where they could ask questions of us before signing up for classes. Parents, I don't know if you remember what your kids were doing in January of 21, but us as teachers, we were trying to encourage young 8th graders to sign up for our classes. At the time, students who were taking choir or singing were sitting at home in front of computer screens trying to have fun singing by themselves. And I can guarantee you that that's terrible. Sitting in front of a computer screen singing alone is not what choir is meant to be. It's something you do with others. It's something you share with others. And so doing that alone is tough. I was waiting on Zoom in my house, and I had 4 screens pop up. And the only one that put their video on was Delaney and her mom. The other ones were asking questions, and they had muted their video. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And Delaney and her mom, they had questions about choir. They were asking about it, what is it like, things like that. And I'm so thankful that we were able to come back that fall of 21, even though we were in masks and things, but we were able to get back to what choir is supposed to be. Since that time, Delaney's been a leader in my class. It's hard, moms and dads. It's a big decision that students make to sign up for a class where they're going to come sing every single day. And many students do not choose this. That's scary. As scary as it is to drive or to do anything, it's a difficult choice to make. And I'm thankful for students like Delaney who made that choice, even in probably the most difficult time that it was to make. Delaney's a leader in my class. I got 3 of her other classmates in here, so it's so nice to see you guys in here. You are, like Mr. Adams said, you are in good company. Moms and dads, these kids are wonderful. We are blessed to have them in our classes. I am blessed to have Delaney and Nate and Grace and Ava and Lucy, who hasn't even come up here yet, singing for me. Delaney is always helping me. There's so many things happening I never actually hear when things happen that are wrong or make mistakes. She's like, can we go back over measure 35? I'm like, oh, or did you miss it? She goes, no. But she heard someone else maybe that did, and I'm like, okay, well, let's go back over measure 35 then. But we need students like that in our classes when someone may need help and we don't know it. But we have leaders like this who help us get through the day. Delaney has been through a lot in her life. She has persevered. She's resilient among all the daring mission statements. She's nimble. She has a smile on her face even when she's in pain or she's miserable. She comes to class every day and she sings just from her heart. And I think that's why I nominated you, and I'm proud to have you in my class. All right?
Dr. Brown, has Delaney been on the choir TikTok? That is, all right. Those are world-famous TikToks, the LHS choir. All right, we're going to bring up the awesome Miss Ashrut to talk about Victoria Diaz Martins de Costa.
So I am also new at LHS. I've joined LHS in October last year. I am Miss Lechner's student teacher from Germany. And so 2 things when I first came to the class. I did not realize that Victoria was also new to the class. because there is no way of telling. She took German 2 over the summer. She's our only sophomore in a mostly junior-based class. Junior-based, right? And another thing is that Victoria just managed to make me feel welcome in that class as well. This class is very established. It's a funny, quirky, loud group. I love them. And Victoria just, I don't know, she made me feel so welcome. I'm not saying that the others didn't. I'm just saying that Victoria just always works harder to be happier, healthier. Victoria speaks 4 languages. German is her 4th language. You could never tell that it's her 4th language. I actually tried to do a 4th language once. I failed miserably. I have skills of speaking 2 languages now because the 4th one messed up the 3rd one as well. So I'm not sure how you do it, but it's amazing. She's certainly a dreamer and a doer because of that, because of her smile. She comes in every day smiling, asking me how I feel when I ask her. That's not a given thing. She just always cares so much, and it's such a pleasure to have her in class. Again, this group can be quirky and very loud, and when class is over, for me as a new teacher, I sometimes need a breath after this. Just need to, okay, that didn't go so well. I don't think I planned this correctly. But then I just always look over at Victoria and she just gives me the smile like, you did well. At least you taught me something. And also, she usually, when she asks you over to ask a question, it's usually on topic, which I've been asked so many questions in this class. I do not play Fortnite, but I can give her vocabulary if she needs it. And I hope that you continue with German. You're an awesome student, and you're always on task when I walk by. I'm not sure if you fake it, but you are definitely an awesome student to have in class, and I'm glad that you're one of my first students ever. Thank you.
That is amazing. 4 languages truly makes you global, obviously, and those languages are a gift which I know you'll use throughout your life. Awesome work. All right, last but definitely not least, the incredible Mr. Marino to talk about Lucy Randolph.
I have 2 people that I get to, out of the music department, I get to nominate. So I always nominate seniors who I haven't, so not a sophomore, just to clarify. One of the great joys of being a music teacher is you get to have students for all 4 years, usually, and to see that incredible transformation from this really kind of unformed, weird, awkward blob of freshmanness to this, almost adult. Of course, now we just celebrated our birthday last week, both of us, so we're now both adults. I finally made it. She made it a lot sooner than me. Lucy has a sibling, an older sister that was also in orchestra, and graduated a few years ago, and so that was always a fun thing when you have the sister. Okay, what's this going to be like? And her sister Zoe was an incredible person, incredible student, a beautiful human as well. And then so it's like, I had high hopes, and Lucy has met and exceeded those. So kudos to Mom and Dad over there for just raising 2 wonderful humans. I tried to write kind of how I think about Lucy in the comments there, and she is all of those things. She's always a very fun and
inquisitive. Like I said, she has this weird balance, not a weird balance, but this great balance of being quirky and interesting and fun and joking, but also she takes things seriously and enjoys being with her friends, enjoys learning, enjoys trying new things, and just has what I just love, again, seeing these students kind of become these kind of mature, almost fully formed, I'm just in awe, really, because I think about when I was that age and just thinking like I was nowhere close to being anywhere near that in terms of all these great kind of humanistic developments that you achieve. So a great leader, another great thing to see these students kind of come up and take on the responsibility of the orchestra, and they kind of start owning it and wanting to help others and help the younger students and really lead the group. And so for all of those wonderful things, for being a wonderful human being, and for bringing greatness into, I guess we have 2 classes this year, so all those classes in all 4 years. Thank you for all of that, and congratulations.
Well, you could see why we always close this. On our daring mission, we have a quote from Maya Angelou, and we always close this with another thing that she said, which is, people seldom remember what you say, and they seldom remember what you do, but they never forget how you make them feel. And you see at this ceremony today, one of the reasons this is such a great school is that we have great students who work so hard to make everybody else in this environment feel really good about being here, and teachers and staff members who really respond and connect to that and appreciate that. So thank you very much for coming. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and as always, go Wildcats!